Hey everybody, and welcome to This Week in Hell. First up, for those of you who have been living in a cave for the past week or so, Donald Trump won the US election. Unsurprisingly, they're now trying to wind down the criminal cases against him, and no new ones will be starting, so he's going to get off scot-free with all the crimes he has committed. He will not be going to jail, so if you were hoping for that, you can forget about that right now. Not happening. I also suspect that pardons will be given out. This is not confirmed, but I expect pardons are going to be given out for many of the people involved in the January 6th insurrection. But we'll see what happens once he takes office in January. My personal thoughts on this are that it was the height of hubris to switch candidates so close to Election Day. They really didn't give Kamala Harris enough time to build a proper campaign and appeal to the people that she should have been trying to appeal to, but they did, and they thought that would work out for them. I'm also going to mention that both times Trump has ran for president, a very unqualified, very stupid man, he has lost to a very intelligent, highly qualified woman. Take of that what you will. Obviously, right now, people are losing their minds, and understandably so. If you've seen what's allegedly proposed with Project 2025, it could be very, very bad and dark in the years to come. But these people are also quite incompetent. So while it's definitely going to be bad, we know roughly how bad it could be with the first 4 years from 2016 to 2020. Then I think a lot of people forgot, because they had a nice little breather, very boring 4 years with Joe Biden, and they've brought him back. So the next 4 years aren't going to be good, but might not be as bad as everyone's expecting, although it's certainly not going to be as beneficial as the people that voted for him think it's going to be. And they didn't learn that lesson the first time, so Donald Trump will once again be the US president. And we're all just going to have to suck it up and put up with that. As it stands right now, I do hope I get to America one day. I don't quite know why I would go to America, but I hope to get there one day. I at least want to visit the country, see some of the nice scenery you folks have there. But at the moment, I'm very glad I have no reason to go. And up next, slightly more local news. The Glasgow City Council has introduced an initiative that's getting them quite a bit of bad press. To be clear, what they're doing isn't bad in and of itself. It's all about safety, and that's not a bad thing. But the way they're going about it is in a very full-headed way, which is causing problems. Essentially, I'll put this mouse down for a sec. Essentially, the issue is there are a number of headstones in cemeteries throughout Glasgow which are unsafe. They don't meet the standards of safety. Some of them look quite new at a glance. They're maybe necessarily that old, 30 years or so, but for whatever reason, they're not safe, and there's a risk that they might fall down. This isn't without precedent. There's at least one case where unsafe headstones have fallen over, and a young boy was actually killed in 2015 as a result of that, skull fractures, and it's a very awful thing. So the move for better safety measures all across the UK, there's been other instances as well, where they've taken steps to let people know this isn't safe, it has to be fixed. Because the maintaining the grounds of the cemetery is on the council, or whoever is responsible for the cemetery, but maintaining the headstones is the responsibility of the families. So, the way the Glasgow City Council has gone about this is they've decided to get big, ugly, laminated bits of paper which says, where was that? Okay, what it does is it says the memorial was inspected, it has the date it was inspected on, and tells them that it's failed to meet the standards, and it then has a contact number for people to call to remedy the situation. That information is not bad, but what they're doing is they're slapping them on the stones, blocking people's names in some cases, which feels like a very rude, disrespectful thing to do, and that's why people are upset. They're not upset about the notifications, they're upset about the manner in which they're going about it. Perhaps instead of slapping them onto headstones and obscuring the text that was written there, they could have gone to Amazon or any garden centre and bought a crap ton of little tags or markers that you can push into the ground and written that information on them, which would have been a much more respectful way to do it. It took me 5 seconds to find something suitable that would have worked. So I'll say this to the Glasgow City Council. If you're planning to do something as stupid as this again, contact me first. I will charge you a consultancy fee, but I'll find a way for you to do it that won't get you in trouble. And next up, TGI Fridays is filing for bankruptcy. Not good times for them, no matter what day of the week it might be. It seems, well, it's just going to affect 39 locations ran directly by the company and not necessarily the many franchisees, although there have been issues with that in the past. The company got its start in 1965, selling a variety of foods to the American people, and that, unfortunately, is something I've noticed pop up more recently. Red Lobster, it was in a similar situation. There's been others as well, where really popular companies, things which are staples of American life in many ways, are filing for bankruptcy. Even here in the UK, the British arm of the company is currently closing down a number of its restaurants, which is leaving 1,000 people without jobs just all of a sudden. I'm not sure how popular they were, but until I learned they were closing them down, I didn't even know they existed in the UK. Speculation on my part, but I think what this boils down to is people are pushing themselves. I mean, you wouldn't guess from looking at me, but I'm going through some health stuff at the moment. I'll be okay, don't worry about it. It's just what my body does. People are pushing themselves towards a healthier lifestyle. I myself cycle most places. I'm gradually changing my diet again after indulging for a bit. Although, hell of a time of the year to start suddenly eating healthier as we're getting toward Christmas. But we're trying to be healthier. We're trying to substitute things which are bad for us for healthier alternatives. We want to live longer for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, have you tried living? Anyway. We want to live longer. We want to live healthier, better lives, because the fact of the matter is, you take better care of your body, you feel better. It improves your mental health as well as your physical health. You've got more energy, you can get more things done. And we all know that. Getting the mind to get used to the idea of maybe not having those quick adrenaline rushes we get from like sweet things and fast foods and so on. And I think that's what a lot of the problem is here. People just aren't as interested in fast food as they used to be. So what these companies need to do is figure out a way to deliver a pleasant experience, a tasty experience to people that is also more health conscious and not silly things like salad in a cup. Bit of a darker story next. Not that the last one was a lot of fun for the people who just lost their jobs. On the 1st of November in Mexico City, a leader of a local cult, La Santa Muerte, was killed in front of the saint's altar. La Santa Muerte, or Holy Death, is often worshipped by the criminal classes because they're a cowardly and superstitious lot. La Santa Muerte, or the Holy Death, is often worshipped by the criminal classes. I had a joke in there about Batman, but I'm not going to make that now. The victim went by the name of La Madrina Cheo, or Cheo, and was one of 3 victims killed while making preparations for the annual Santa Muerte celebration. 8 others were wounded. At present, no other deaths. Hopefully everyone pulls through. The cult's activities have not been endorsed, unsurprisingly, by the Roman Catholic Church, but they are a death-worshipping cult, so I don't really think they give a crap about what the Roman Catholic Church does and doesn't endorse. I think when you decide you're going to worship death, you've kind of gone all in at that point. And it is worth noting that the celebrations are quite friendly and joyous occasions for those involved. However, our thoughts go out to those who are affected by it, because nobody deserves to be murdered. Actually, that's not true. There's quite a few people that deserve to be murdered, but I'm going to give these people the benefit of the doubt. As we're now in the aftermath of the 2024 presidential election, a US presidential election, other countries do of course exist, I like to throw an entertainment story in. Not really a lot this week. It's not to say things haven't happened in entertainment. Nothing that interesting, because I think most people have been focused on pushing the presidential election to the point of being kind of obnoxious. It's even when I see people I'm politically aligned with, although obviously I'm Scottish, I was not going to be voting in that election. I look at them and I think, oh, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are just so insufferable right now. To the point where that doesn't mean I don't support people's right to say and do what they believe. I think anybody should have a right to express their opinion and use whatever platform they have to express it. And we can all judge accordingly, whatever that opinion might be. I don't think celebrities should be any different just because they have a bigger audience than the rest of us. I'm not famous. I'm happy to fart out my opinions, as anyone else should be. And boy, do I fart them out. But at the same time, this time of year, it's just a constant torrent. It's just one after the other. I love Misha Collins, but my God, I swear I wanted to slap him in the face by the time election day came around. I was like, dude, I love you, but get a grip. Or various other people. Then, of course, there's the nonsense when someone says, hey, I just voted. And it's literally just them with an I voted sticker. You can't tell who they voted for with that sticker, but assumptions are being made about who they voted for. Or you're then trying to cut people down who you may not like by saying, oh, I'll bet they voted for this person. Where anyway, like Katy Perry, for example, I've heard people say, oh, I don't like her, she's a Trumper. But she literally endorsed Kamala Harris for all the difference it made. So, yeah, not a very entertaining time in the entertaining community this week. But people have a right to say what they believe. They have a right to stand up for the causes they believe in, even if sometimes it gets a little bit tedious to those of us who are just looking for a little bit of entertainment. I told you I could fart out opinions. And before we go this week in Memoriam, we're only touching on one this week. A lot of people died, but we're just going to say goodbye to Quincy Jones. For those of you who don't know, Quincy was a very well-known musician and music producer in the United States. In his career, he was behind many popular albums like Thriller, Off the Wall, Bad. Did a lot of work with Michael Jackson, as well as many, many other people. He even created really well-known theme tunes such as Ironside and the Sanford and Son theme tune. I've never seen that show, but I know the theme tune. That's how popular it is. He secured 28 Grammy wins in his career. I haven't checked the numbers on this, but it just pops in my head because I did come across as I was researching. I think he had 80 nominations in total. 28 wins, that is really impressive. And during his career, he'd worked with all of the greats, really. Dizzy Gillespie, Ella Fitzgerald, Dinah Washington, Peggy Lee, Frank Sinatra, and I could make a very, very long video if I was just going to list all the very, very famous people this man worked with. Put a lot of good work into the world. And he is survived by his 7 children, Rashida, Kidada, Quincy III, Kenya Kinski, Jolie, Martina, and Rachel. He passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 93. And that brings us to the end of This Week in Hell. Unless anything interesting pops up by the time I've actually put this all together and done my editing, could happen. That's why I tend to record it one day and I give a couple of days before I do the assembly. I always put everything together on a Sunday when it comes to this. Sunday's quite a busy day for me actually when I do that. But still, it has to be done. Now, I just want to thank y'all for giving these videos a chance. I still haven't put the notification up on the main channel. Well, not the main channel because it's different content, on the bigger channel. I've got to record it. I'll have to remember to do that this week so it coincides with the release of this video. But for now, I'm going to head off. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and take very good care of yourselves. And each other, really, given the world we're in now.